Hi, everybody. This is Mike, and welcome to another long-awaited session of Fantasy Flight Games Star Wars Heart of the Empire. This game is brought to you by the Tides of Change role-playing game club. You can check them out on Facebook, and I gotta say, they are an absolutely fantastic group, great community of players, great community of people. And the main idea of the Tides of Change role-playing game club is that at some point in time, I am going to propose a tide change. The players will make up a series of events that will radically change the story and basically make all my prep worthless, which is awesome. And why? Because creativity. And that's what's great about tabletop RPGs. So, without further ado, I'm going to quickly hand it over to the players who will introduce themselves. I'll give a quick recap, and then we'll jump right into Session 9 of Heart of the Empire. The first individual, I'm just going to go from my left to my right. First person will be Dennis. Dennis, if you could please introduce yourself and plug all the particulars.
I'm Dennis. I'm playing Vratix. As our fine GM has said, check out Tides of Change, also OSG, for any of your gaming needs.
Right on, right on. Next person we have is Gabe. Gabe?
Hey everybody, this is Gabe B, and we're all glad to be here for you and to play a game once again. It has been a little while, but the wait has been well worth it, and let's see what happens for today.
Sweet. And of course, last but not least, our resident Corin, John, if you could please.
Yeah, as Mike said, I'm John from Red Dice Diaries. Looking forward to cracking on with the game. As everyone said, check out the Tides of Change, various people's YouTube channels, etc. Can't wait to fire some proton torpedoes at some Imperial scum.
And of course, is that not the goal of every individual to fire proton torpedoes? Because I mean, come on, like you got your Star Trek photon torpedo. Come on. Proton torpedoes out of an X-wing, flying really fast, highway to the danger zone, blasting along in the speakers of your X-wing. I mean, it's natural, totally natural.
All we needed the mirror shades, man, with that.
That's right. That's right. So, let us begin with a recap of the events. Havoc Squad has landed on Thyferra, and due to a series of events, found out that in a very specific area of the planet, there is a warehouse district, the main city, that houses Bacta, that is intended for a clandestine member of the Empire called Unit 88. These individuals have been creating implants and putting them into rebels and rebel leaders in hopes that they can access them like computer programs and be able to control their actions and control their abilities. This is something that the Empire could very easily take over and crush the rebellion in one fell swoop. After Juggerhead, they found that these items are manufactured there, but the different parts of it are being created in different areas in the galaxy. Upon reaching Warehouse District 183B, where the Bacta is located, a not quite so subtle reconnaissance mission has resulted into almost a full-scale fight with Imperial forces on the ground. Luckily, after both Mercer and Vratix pulled out and was able to escape, they were able to link up all together and formulate a very cunning plan that involved destroying all members, taking the Bacta or destroying it, and bugging out, no pun intended, before any of the other members of the Empire were any the wiser. Very quickly after assaulting this area, Salin found himself into an engagement with a TIE interceptor flown by someone with definite reputable skill. With a whole massive flock of Bloodwings behind him, leading them to the warehouse district, he managed to fire off 2 proton torpedoes before banking sharply, veering off, and hoping that his missiles hit the mark. Meanwhile, on the ground, the Vratix unit, the Black Claw saboteurs, were quickly working with the other members of Havoc Squad, trying to attack and cause as much, no pun intended, havoc as possible, while the core members of the squad were able to get to the warehouse containing the Bacta, warehouse 183B or 183-20 and -21, and so they can actually grab it and bug out with it. Due to a lot of very powerful force that is guarding this warehouse district, the crew has found themselves into a bit of a situation in an alley, bleeding into sustaining quite a bit of injuries. Right now, Varric, in a very bold move, managed to run and jump up on top of the ATST before he heard the sound. "Don't you move." And looking behind, he saw what could only be Major Durant holding a blaster pistol to his chest. And of course, that is where we ended off the last session. So, on that cheerful note, let us start with session 9 of Heart of the Empire. Varric, the smoke and choking smells of burning chemical and burning concrete, the fire around seems to almost take a hold of you in a vice-like grip. Your throat constricted, your eyes watering, your nose trying to close itself against this assault. As it clears, you see a man, Major Durant, pointing at you, a blaster pistol. You've killed my men. You destroyed my warehouse district. You damn rebels, everyone thinks that you're on the side of good. But look at you. Killing these people. Causing wanton destruction. For what? So you could steal things? Go into the black market? Why?
Having reached the top of this vehicle, the hood that hides my masked features billowing in the smoky wind, straighten to my height, my full height. As I look him over, I give a low cough to kind of clear my throat of the smoke and the grime and the grit. It doesn't matter. You will join the others soon enough. I think you're muted.
Damn, that's one. Somebody write that down. That's one. Just a little point to note, folks. Those of you watching who don't really understand what the hell that was about. So I have a bad habit. As a matter of fact, if you peruse YouTube and check out any other game, you'll actually see what you're muted, Mike. You're muted, Mike. You're muted, Mike. Can't run into 5 games without listening to that. Trust me. Anyway, so just out of character, really quick, Varric, where is your sword right now? Like, where is it? Like, do you have your sword out? Is it in a sheath? Is it clearly visible?
I don't know. Would I have been able to make up the run up the wall and the flip with it out? If so, I would still have it out, and it would be, pointed down towards my side.
I would say so. Given your abilities, especially your training as an assassin, your character would have to know to be able to have melee weapons pulled out, and still be able to use like either climb or basically do some sort of like acrobatic or other types of maneuvers with one hand. So I would say so. It is by your side.
Okay.
Ugh. He points at your sword. So, you fancy yourself a duelist? And he grabs, I guess, like kind of a cape, like an officer's cape. And he throws it to the ground. And as he billows it off to the ground, you can see beside, like on a hilt, this beautiful looking scabbard and very very nice looking vibrosword, at least the handle. He pulls the sword out, makes a few test strokes. I know who you are. Yes. Moff Karrakin. He sent a communique out. You're the Prime. Or the failed Prime. He offered a pretty reward for your head. And I think I'm the one to do it. And with that, he gets onto the parapet. He leaps over top of you, the 30 feet, hits the top of the ATST that you're on, and he looks at you. I am a master of the 7 squares of dueling. And he stands up, he flourishes his sword, brings it straight up to his face with the width of the blade out, rolls back and kind of adopts a kind of a defensive posture. Now, let's see what the training of the Prime is really about. And he kicks down on the latch, on the top latch of the ATST, and he shouts, "Move! We're going to kill these rebel scum!" And the ATST starts to lurch forward. And as it lurches forward, what I need you to do is I need you to make me a coordination check with a difficulty of 2, please.
Okay, and that's purple difficulty?
That's correct, yes.
Okay. Okay, coordination.
Mostly because he shouted it, and you can clearly hear that he's
Right.
telling the ATST to move.
Since this would be a rather inopportune time to lose my balance, I will spend a strain to get my natural genetic boost.
Okay.
Okay, double check. 2, 2. Here we go. Out of all that, one advantage.
So as you stumble, and I apologize, I know normally I would get you to take advantage of it, but as you stumble, you just miss a strike zipping past your head. You can almost feel it just kiss your hood as it swings by. And now I'm going to have just you and him roll initiative.
Would it be vigilance or cool?
Yeah, it'll be. That's correct.
Either, or which one?
Well, I mean, you both know that it's going to happen.
Uh-huh.
So I mean,
normally be cool.
Cool.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm sorry, I just can never remember which one applies to which.
you know what? Honestly, I think it's like it's the great debate creator of our time.
I guess I got nothing. I got blanks.
Okay. And that's actually that. Okay. Well,
It was very close, but I think he's going first.
you think so? Just for again the folks at home, I did roll 3 successes, an advantage, and a triumph. So as you both get ready, he actually moves his foot and kind of kicks down at your foot. So you're gonna start the round, or at least not necessarily start the round, but I'll explain how we're gonna do this duel thing in a minute, and I think you're gonna like it. But he kind of kicks your foot down. The next time that you're on defense, you're gonna have 1 setback die because you're just a little bit off kilter as he
Off balance.
attack. So it is. So how we're going to do this, and just for everyone at home, I did some scouring, and with the amazing help of the wonderful and talented and handsome John Allen Large, we found that there was no actual system for dueling. You look at Force and Destiny. I don't have any of the extra fancy books, so I didn't know for 100%. But the way we're going to do it is this: we're basically going to, each one of us is going to roll per round. One person rolls attack, one person rolls defense. So instead of basically a very blunt, you attack and do damage, and then you attack and do damage, there's going to be a chance for each person to make it a bit more exciting, to parry and knock each other's balance off. And as, of course, you get more successes and triumphs, you have the ability to end a duel fairly quickly, especially with certain advantages and certain other things that you can actually like create to have a grand old time. So instead of basics, we're going to make this a lot more exciting. Okay, so it is Major Durant's first turn, and seeing that as he kind of knocked you off balance a little bit, he is going to go straight on the attack and try and hit you. Before he does, though, he is actually going to make a coordination check to see how much he stays on top of the ATST as it's lurching towards Mercer and Kojamal. So as he comes forward, it seems that one of the pieces of rubble that you guys have like blown up pretty much every single building and turned the entire warehouse district into a smoking crater. It steps on one of the boulders and kind of almost tips to one side. And as he, even though he totally whiffs the shot, like he totally whiffs his sword hit, he actually just zips right past you, not even close, but he still is able to bring himself up very quickly into a defensive position. So because he misses, you don't even have to roll for a defensive shot. You can just roll right into an attack.
Okay, so that means I won't have suffered that setback in the next defense?
That's correct, exactly, because he whiffed the shot anyway. That was just for that round. So now the round is, now either you can attack or you can stay in a defensive stance, however you want to do it.
I think I'll attack.
Nice.
So basically, from the previous, I'm basically kind of prone, right? I missed my attack and fell off balance. So basically, as I'm like falling back and I catch myself in my hand, then I'm going to basically use the momentum to kind of roll back, then kick up to my feet.
Okay, nice.
Take a swing as I'm coming up.
Oh, sweet.
Kind of an underhanded twist of the wrist of the blade to bring it up.
Kind of like a nice kind of like an upward flourish.
Yeah.
Ah, sweet. Get him. Kill him. I mean, don't kill him. I'll get you yet.
So let's see. It's gonna be 2. Strain. Do I have like any setback or difficulty or whatever? Or is it just a straight roll?
You just do a straight roll.
Okay. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. Yeah, 2 successes and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Advantage.
Nice. Okay. And I am going. Okay, I'm going to roll for defense. Okay. So as you come up with a flourish, he manages to parry part of the blow, but with your success and all your other advantages, you manage to just gouge him right up through the shoulder, and he buckles. He not only buckles to one side, but he even falls down onto one knee, and he looks at you. He's just raging. How much damage is he going to take?
Okay, it has damage of 6, and it's got a pierce of 2, so it's -2 to a soak.
Okay.
And I don't think I crit, so the vicious doesn't affect that.
Perfect. Okay. So as he lays there, you see him. He touches the side of his head, and you kind of see, like, you didn't really notice it before, but you actually see this, like, looks like a small pane of glass kind of zips over his eye. Epsilon Squadron, flank, take out the rebels. And you kind of, out of the corner of your eye, you can see a door to the barracks open up. There's another 5 stormtroopers running alongside the ATST, and they're going to be getting to that alleyway pretty quickly. As he notices that you're kind of paying attention to that, he now comes up with a strike of his own. Okay, so he whiffs that. Although even though he doesn't whiff, when he kind of shoots up with his sword, he just misses, but you're caught off balance. And I need you to make a coordination check right now to see if you stay on the lurching ATST. Difficulty 3. Oh, very nice.
So 3 successes and 2 threats.
So for the threats, though you managed to stay on fairly well, you seem to kind of be just enough of, even through your assassin training, you realize that you've actually left yourself open for a possible attack, you've left yourself a little bit off balance, so it's going to be a bit more difficult, you find, to try and twist your body to attack yourself. So either, if you and I'll even give the choice up to you. Either you can take a penalty on attacking, or Major Durant can take a bonus to defending. So do you feel lucky, Punk?
Well, given that he's also directing the battle and threatening my comrades, I want to pick option B.
So you're going to give him a boost die?
No, I guess option C. I want to if I can, attempt to use one of my force powers.
Okay.
I want to use my misdirect to basically make it where he will not be able to see me.
Okay. In what regard? Like, can you kind of give
Well,
me?
it's one of the force powers.
Right, but I mean, like, does it like just make it so his vision is?
Basically, it's using illusions, and basically I can make a target up to medium range. I can make a silhouette of one or smaller unseen
Ah, okay,
by the
cool.
target.
Very cool stuff. All right.
And for basically, I roll my force rating for a force roll, correct?
Correct.
Oh,
That old dark side.
see, I knew it. So, but if I remember right, if I choose to use the dark side, then how does that work?
Okay, so if you do, I would say, like off to the side, make a list of your dark side points, and what we'll do is at the end of the session, kind of off screen, we'll tally that up and we'll work out what will happen. Does that make sense?
Yep.
All right, cool.
So let me make a little text file here.
So this means that now any future attacks that Major Durant does to you will be made with one difficulty higher, or?
I'm not sure. It doesn't really specify. It basically just says I make the target unable to perceive or unable to perceive a chosen person or object until the beginning of the user's turn. The target cannot see or sense the hidden person or object. So basically, he won't be able to see me, or I'll basically disappear. Is the way that I take it.
At least until his next turn?
It would be my next turn.
Oh, your next turn.
The user,
Okay.
I believe, the user would be the one.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
An ability, yeah.
Sounds good. All right. Well, then he is definitely more than a little miffed right now. Okay, so now that you've done that, technically it actually is your turn to either attack or no, excuse me. No, it is his turn. That's right. You just use your force power. As he kind of gets to his feet, like his eyes seem to blur, and he kind of wipes them as if like there's like sand. You get that like weird ass grit kind of in your eye, and you can't quite get it out. And, as he opens his eyes, kind of looks, he just sees nothing. He just sees the top decking of the ATST as it's rambling forward. You coward! And he just screams this from the top of the walker. Go! And so now we're going to take the camera. And even though you guys are still in your duel, we're going to quickly go down to an alleyway with Mercer and Kojamal. Unfortunately, the person who plays Kojamal is Devin. Unfortunately was unable to make it tonight, but we're going on, pressing on. The show must go on and all that. And he'll probably come in next week and tell me what a bad job I did mimicking Kojamal. So Kojamal's there. He's kind of holding his arm, wounded. What are we going to do, Mercer?
As we see Varric run across, Kojamal is kind of like asking me that, and he's trying to check me over on my wounds, and I kind of grab him to the side and I said, "Get with the Black Claws. They need your help. Make sure, if anything, get that ion bomb off." And I'm taking a deep breath, and you can tell it's kind of slowing, and I'll kind of like push him to go down the alleyway the opposite way that Varric took off, so that he can run back the way we came. And as he does, the gun I was carrying, which was the light repeating blaster, kind of falls in my lap, and this major gash. You can see it just bleeding a little bit. I mean, it's just kind of trickling down very, very steadily, and I'm just holding it as if the gun was hiding this gash. He pulls out some of the shrapnel that was there, and he slumps back, and he kind of looks to his left, seeing Kojima leaving, and all of a sudden Spec is running straight up to him and kneels right down to his side and says, sit back, sit back. And he starts doing like, I need you to just sit still. I'll get this for you. I'll get this for you. And I'm like, I can't. I have to get going. Yes, you can, but you can't do it now. And hold this. And when I'm doing that, I'm kind of like, you can see I'm grabbing from my own bag. I'm grabbing the med pack. And I just kind of stab my leg with it. And I'm just sit back. And I kind of like, what are you doing here, Spec? What? And then you see him kind of dissipate. With that, you see Kojima kind of making the turn, and then two stormtroopers kind of come out from the alley, and I get up and I aim, shooting at them, and I'm just like hurt. And I'd be more than happy to take a setback because it's kind of happening quick. I'm still hurt. And I need to make sure that my teammate gets going to where he had to go.
Sure. And as they don't really notice you at first, the two stormtroopers, they kind of look, and they see Kojima running, and they're like, there he is, blast him! And they as they bring it up, you have a chance. You have a clear line of sight with these two stormtroopers, and go ahead and make an attack. It'll be a difficulty of 2. But with a setback die.
All right. And I'm also going to be doing full auto. You hear the click, and I'll go ahead and make it 3. And I will hit a destiny die to upgrade one of my greens on top of that. All right. That's a straight miss and an advantage.
Cool.
The advantage would be that I'm more of a threat, and they're no longer going to see him, but they're looking right at me, right down the alley.
Okay. Yeah, and they do. They just stop, and even though they're about to shoot, they just kind of back up, and they're like, there he is, there, and they start running down the alleyway. Blasters drawn, just advancing down, ready to fire at you. And with that, we're going to take the action all the way up as we follow 2 proton torpedoes, like screaming through the air. Their ion trails contrailing. They're actually even due to the speed and the shape of them, they're actually even starting to twist, becoming almost helical, like a helix, and they're just spinning past the main gate defense. The guns they don't have time to even pass through. One actually ends up ricocheting into one of the guns and just detonating it. The crew flying 30, 40 feet in the air before landing with a sickening crunch and smashing against the ground. The gun, the general barrel, and I use that term loosely because lasers, just twisted and broken, snapped against it. The other one finding purchase in building 183-14, which is basically directly in front, smashing right into it and blowing a huge chunk out of the back, just narrowly missing the ATST. One of the stormtroopers from the group, or 2 of the stormtroopers from the group flanking the ATST, just wiped out. Just become a red smear across the ground as a huge chunk of the warehouse just skims along it like a stone skipping a lake. Unfortunately, the lake is a lake of stormtrooper gore as it just kind of slides across and smashes into yet another building. And then all of us, like, basically, as you're pulling up, Salin, from this run, the guns start firing at you, and because of the engineer Chase, the guns are unable to fully target you as their targeting computers have been tampered with. You manage to pull up just in time. You can almost see the whites of Stormtrooper's eyes as all of these Blood Eagles begin descending. You see Stormtroopers flying in the air. At least 10 of the Blood Eagles have landed and have begun attacking the Stormtroopers. Unfortunately, because the scent on your ship is so powerful, there are still about 5 more Blood Eagles on your tail as you begin pulling up.
Okay, Mike, how many Blood Eagles do I have in total? 'Cause I think I lost about 20 out of the total herd, if I remember properly.
Yes, originally there was 80. You have 10 on you right now. 20 died, so that leaves 50. So a few more would drop off on the way down, and then eventually, basically due to circumstances, timing, and maybe not my best memory, you are now left. You have 10 right now. There were 20 left when you hit the warehouse district. There are 10 now feasting on Stormtrooper snacks, and 10 that are like, you're a taste of your target, we're going after you. So
if the rest are following me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my controls to point the X-Wing at one of our other targets with the aim that I'm literally going to fly straight towards it, and at the last moment I'm going to hit the ejector seat and just leave the birds to follow the ship in.
Okay, so you're just basically sending the X-Wing on its merry way?
Yep. I just want maximum amount of those birds to get in and do what they do best.
Okay.
Imperials.
All right. So I don't think you really even need to make a check on this one. But as you start pulling up, you're pulling up. You just seem to like skim the smoke and fire in the warehouse district, and you're taking everything you've got. Before you eject, is there anything you want to try and anything you want to need to do, or anything you need to?
Like I say, are there any other targets still sort of standing that we'd sort of prioritize that we needed to destroy?
The only, other than the fact that you took out one of the guns, you basically tied up the remaining Imperial forces with these massive birds of prey, and you destroyed yet another warehouse. Other than that, there aren't really that many other targets remaining.
Okay, in which case what I'll do is I'll amend my plan slightly. What I'm going to do is I'm actually, rather than ejecting, I'm going to fly low as close to the ground as I possibly can and sort of weave in and out of the buildings with the idea that the birds following behind me will run into like more of the Imperials and stuff. And once the Imperials start shooting at them, they'll probably become the bigger threat.
Okay. So as you begin to like shoot down low, you almost have to slow down a bit as you're coming onto the ground, because if memory serves me correctly, you were going in at speed 3.
Yeah,
because you're trying to keep at the same speed as the Eagles. So you even slow down a little bit as you near kind of the, for lack of a better term, kind of like road that many of these hover skiffs travel with normal traffic. Unfortunately, as you're coming down, you realize that there's still a lot of traffic on the road, and I need you to make me, well, first start by making me one piloting land check.
Okay, if it's a piloting land check to avoid like the traffic that's on the road, instead of avoiding it, I'm just going to open up with my laser cannons.
You're going to shoot the traffic?
Is when you say traffic, you mean it's literally civilian traffic, or?
Yes, yeah, it's like.
Right, well, fair enough. Sorry, my misunderstanding.
Rush hour in London, kind of like, traffic's a little bit slow.
Okay, no problem. What's the difficulty of the pilot?
Don't get you wrong. I totally understand. Everybody wants an X-wing to fire on traffic, but yeah, maybe not a good idea. The difficulty would be a difficulty of 2, because even though you're just coming down, you still have the ability to kind of take off. Like you're you know.
1 success, 1 advantage.
Very, very nice. You definitely managed to you actually feel it like go down, down, down. Just as a skiff is kind of like flying underneath, you manage to bump that skiff, like just kiss the edge of that skiff, pushing the skiff forward. That skiff, the driver just completely loses it, like jumps out of the skiff as the skiff goes careening into one of the Blood Eagles, hits the Blood Eagle tumbles, smashing through other traffic and kind of pushing skiffs out of the way, people panicking and running for cover as you are just like sailing just over the heads of all of these vehicles.
As I'm sort of lifting up, I'll effectively try and turn back round, so I'm heading back into the base. If I have to fly upside down, so be it.
Oh, very, very nice. Make me another pilot piloting land. Again, same difficulty.
Okay. 2 successes and 1 threat.
Nice. So if you could actually just tell me the successes.
Okay, so as I've bumped the skiff and it sort of jolts me upwards a bit, I pull back on the throttle and the control stick in my X-wing, sort of heading upwards a bit and turning back round, so I'm flying upside down, sort of messing around with the targeting computers. As I head back, I turn around to face the right way, and I'm now flying back towards the Imperial base of whatever remains of this flock behind me.
Beautiful. And you did it well. You did it so well that your ship, your X-wing, was actually faster than the bird's reaction time. And because you flipped up, because you moved over, and the way you kind of barrel rolled back towards the base, one of the Blood Eagles like, and manages to collide with your X-wing. Unfortunately, the problem with that is that its head actually got sucked into the turbofan of one of your engines, and now your engine is severely damaged as the bones. And keep in mind, this is still a very lightweight bird compared to an X-wing, as its head got decapitated and sucked into the turbofan of your top left engine, kind of as you're looking at the back. You know what I mean? So it's left-hand side, upper.
Refresh my memory. Did I have an R2 unit in this X-wing?
Yes, you do. You have an R2. You do have an R2 unit. It is currently in okay condition. The fight with the TIE Interceptor kind of made it a bit.
I'm just going to press the button that's like my communications to that. I'm going to go, see if you can do anything with the engines. We can't afford to lose one at this range.
And it kind of begins to try and work on that. But for now, probably for the next little while, you're going to be unable to go any faster than your current speed 3. So that's kind of where you're at right now. Also, because you've got more thrust on one end, it's going to basically give you a setback die to kind of keep to like any kind of maneuvers, just because now you've got more power on the right-hand side than the left.
Okay, so for my last thing, I'm going to get on the comms to the others, and it's like, this is Salin, we're coming in hot. I've got one engine down. I don't know what happened to the other 2 members of the squadron. I think they're far behind me. We'll see what we can do.
No, I guess got nothing.
Oh, who's?
Yes, you guys.
Yeah, I'm getting up, shooting. He does that. I'm saying something, but I can't connect. I cannot click onto the comm. So yeah, he would not get anything from me because I'm have both hands on my weapon. I'm taking care of what's going down the alley. So yeah.
That's 2.
Anyway. And also, whenever I do it 3 times, folks, I give the players. Damn, I actually got a little paranoid there. When I do it on the 3rd time, they get a free Light Side Destiny. So I'll flip one over for free because that'll teach me to pay more attention to my microphone. Because I'm dumb. But anyway, so the as you begin your turnaround, a lot of the eagles have to basically fly out, bank around, and try and get at you. But because you're moving so fast, most of the eagles have pretty much given up at this point, and they've just gone to fly off. A few of them actually have started hunting in the city, the warehouse district, looking to pick off people as they're walking. As you are nearing the base, Salin, all of a sudden you do get a message over your comms. You thought you could escape from me? No. I'm going to kill you. And then I'm going to kill your other members of your squad. Then I'm going to present your transport to Lord Vader.
Sorry, what was that? You're breaking up. I couldn't hear you over the sound of the ass whooping I'm about to give you.
Ah, really? And all of a sudden you see 2 green laser cannons streak right across your cockpit, almost hitting the front of your ship. What would you care to do?
Okay, I can't go any faster because of the engine problems we've got. What I'm going to try and do... Yeah, the laser cannons came from behind me, I'm assuming.
From the angle, it looks like they're coming from above you.
Okay, so above and behind me somewhere, or are they directly over the top of me?
Basically, almost directly over the top of you. You could almost fathom, given the individual that you're talking to, that you're pretty sure those were purposefully missed shots.
I'm going to just press the comms button. I'm going to say, brace yourself, R2. Give me all the power you can. And then my plan is to basically kill the engines like completely, tilt the ship backwards, and then fire them again so I go straight up.
Okay. This is going to be a thing. Right on. God, jeez, what do you even do with this? Okay, so R2, we'll just say as a droid. Actually, you know what? R2 kills the engines. I need you to make me a piloting land check, difficulty of 4 on this one, because you're going to kill them. You basically want to stall the engines, turn it, and then the R2 unit's going to basically help do your thing and just careen you.
Do I get a bonus for the fact that R2's doing like half the work?
That's a good one. You know what? You do get a boost die. R2 basically has got that engine almost under control. And basically his as an astromech, he is kind of very lightly helping to correct your calculations.
Okay, what did you say the difficulty was, Mike?
Difficulty is 4. You're gonna add 1 boost die, just 4 purple.
It's a failure, but 3 advantages.
That's actually going to work out really well for you. So as you hear the engines like, you begin to kind of turn, and the engines, like you try and fire the engines.
Damn it, R2! I said all the power.
Now, if you just tell me your 3 advantages.
Okay, I'm going to say my 3 advantages. Obviously, I've managed to turn to face upwards. I've not got the engines to propel me upwards. However, as I sort of see the TIE fighter above me, I'm damn sure if I'm going to crash this ship, I'm going to at least have a pop at that TIE fighter before I go down. So as I tilt upwards, I'm just going to hit the laser cannons, so aiming at the TIE fighter.
Okay, so as you are pointing at it, it was not only firing, but it's virtually coming straight at you. So do make me a standard attack. With basically, it's going to be a difficulty of 2 because it's not that far away. So, yeah.
Okay. I'm going to take a half my action to aim as standard.
Yep, no worries.
Failure, 2 advantages.
Okay, so even though you missed the shot, what you managed to do is, as the interceptor's coming in, basically you just like snap fire, both shots. You don't quite, you just see it go past the both solar arrays or both ion arrays.
Damn it!
Tell me though, those definitely helped your case though. What happened?
Okay. Is it possible that at this stage R2's brought sort of very limited power back online, just given the cumulative amount of advantages I've rolled?
Yes. Yeah, I would say that R2 kind of got that one engine under control.
Okay, so I'll say I'm actually heading up, but it's quite slow because I've obviously got to build my speed up again because he hasn't managed to like ramp it fully up.
Yeah, you have inertia. The engines haven't exactly kicked on just yet. It's R2's working on the R2 unit is working on getting it just up there, or getting it like ready to work. You're really close, but it's not quite there. But you do have the inertia still. So basically, now I don't know if you've ever seen footage of the Eurofighter, where it actually is flying like this. Like actually, its nose pointed up, but it's flying forward. That's pretty much what the X-wing is doing right now. So your nose is pointed straight up, straight at the incoming TIE interceptor, and you're moving forward. Your whole ship is moving forward, and that's when you take your 2 quick snaps. It misses, but with the advantage, you just narrate your advantages.
Okay, so yeah, like you say, my advantages are perhaps the TIE fighters overconfident because they've seen the struggles I'm having with the engines, etc. So they perhaps don't jink and dodge around as much as they would do previously, giving me a boost if I get a chance to take another shot at them. Because they're
Right
like, oh, he's done, so they're just like coming straight in for the kill.
Yeah. All right, let's go for it.
Okay, let me just
pretty much same as before.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just trying to remember how many proton torpedoes do I have on the X-wing, or have I fired them all?
I believe you have 2, or most X-wings do carry 2 proton torpedoes.
That's fine. I've launched them all then.
Yeah.
No problems. Just a standard shot then. Oh. 1 threat.
Okay. As you fire, excuse me. As you fire, the strain is just a little bit too much, and the inertia has pushed you just out of range. Unfortunately, as the R2 unit got the engines back and you begin flying, the interceptor basically comes around and behind, and actually has a pretty good shot lined up. So we'll jump into initiative order into the point where basically she has you lined up, so she'll pop up and then you'll be right after her. Whoa, that's wrong. I was really about to kind of screw you over there, but I didn't, because I'm a nice person. Let's go with that and that and that. Oh, son of a... Okay. Where's that book? There it is. So, coming around, most of you now. I remember you still had your deflectors kicked to the back, and I believe you actually reinforced your deflector shields from last time onto the back of your X-wing. So it's
No,
still...
my shields were put back to normal when the TIE originally came down at me.
Ah, okay. So, let's see if memory serves me correctly. So you will take, or at least your ship will take, not only will take 12 damage, at the very least. I am going to roll 12 and add 10.
I wouldn't worry about it. The ship's scragged.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it comes around. Basically, the TIE Interceptor fires all 4 laser cannons, slams into the back, and you start to go down. It's like the flames start to go off. You can almost hear her chuckling over the comms as you see her just kind of shoot off, thinking that you're a dead man. As you're going off, I need you to make me a one final, unfortunately, piloting land check to see.
I'd suggest I've got at least a few setback dice here, man.
Oh yeah, I would.
Given that my ship's like dead. So however many you want to slap on, it's fine by me.
Well, what we're going to say is make a piloting land, and it's going to be 2 purple, 1 red.
Do you want any setbacks?
Nope, 2 purple, 1 red.
Okay. 1 failure, 2 advantages.
Okay. As you try and get the ship under control, like 2 engines actually begin to like shoot off on its own and just continue flying off before exploding in the distance. You now have you now have virtually like no balance as the ship kind of wants to pitch on one side. However, you do have 2 advantages. So please tell me what those are.
Okay, if I can with those 2 advantages, what I'm going to do is I'm going to reach out with 2 fingers and hit 2 buttons on the control panel or pull like the manual release. And what I want to do is effectively hit the release on the R2 unit so that can like detach and drop itself out of the X-wing, and the other's going to be like the manual release for the ejector seat.
All right, I like it. So the R2 unit, and you just hear as it kind of shoots off and does its thing, and you're just kind of hoping it's going to be okay.
It's probably a lot more family friendly than what I'm shouting at the minute in character.
That's very true.
Which you guys may hear over the comm. Just assume you hear a string of Quarren profanity.
Yeah, or like, Bantha Poodoo.
I'll be like skipping in and out. I'll be like, "This is Salin. I'm down. Repeat, I'm down. I'm going to have to eject." And you're like in the background.
And actually, you would even see the sky almost like light up with the X-wing in flames and its explosion. You manage to hit the eject, and for a moment, for the longest moment of your entire life, it just doesn't seem to want to work. You're hitting it frantically, you're punching it. You've never actually punched a starfighter, but it's like, you're going to make this work, damn it, no matter what.
It's not a starfighter anymore, it's an expensive paperweight.
And finally, you hear the hiss of a slight release of pressure. The maglocks kick in, and your starfighter, your chair, your ejection seat just boom out. And I'm going to say that's the first advantage. Your other advantage being that because Laura was so cocky that she thought that you're dead, she just kind of gone. And it seems like she was actually headed in the direction toward the city center itself, as you guys are kind of like in more of like an industrial district, kind of slightly off to the side. As you come down, you kind of hit the ground fairly hard, Salin. You suffer.
Off, like, the straps and whatever. So,
You actually suffer 2 wounds, not covered by your armor, and at least 2 points of strain. From the sheer fact that you stared death in the face and you slapped it in its disgusting white tentacled mouth.
I'll slap my sort of personal comms that's attached to me. I'll be like, "This is Salin. I made it down, but I'm hit."
You hear over the comms. Kojamal, this is Kojamal. I am sending someone to help. And you kind of hear, the black one. Yes, go help.
I'm also going to try and get on my comms, and I'm like, if we've got any more birds that we can get in the air, get one of them over here. If any of Blood Squadron can still hear me, it's up to you now. I'm down. Repeat, Salin down.
And you hear, you kind of hear some, like, a brief moment of static, kind of just a, and then nothing. We'll take the action back to on top of the ATST. Major Durant is frantically looking around. The birds are skimming down everywhere. His realizing now that the futility of throwing his blaster pistol aside, one bird comes actually shooting down for him, and kind of spinning his sword. He actually kind of moves his whole body, not only dodging, but he actually slices the bird's stomach wide open. It's just spilling out as it just kind of draws its last breath, quickly tumbles over, hits the ATST, and kind of tumbles and onto the ground dead. Where are you, Prime? Where are you?
So, what I would like to do, as I said, as my turn begins, I become visible. As I remember, he kicked open the top hatch, right, to yell down at them?
No, he actually didn't kick it open. He just slammed his boot down on top to get their attention.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I see what you're saying. So that changes that then. So yeah, I guess I will just. Well, first of all, did Salin going down? Was that near us? Would we have been able to visually see that?
You would have been able to see the
like fireball.
The fireball and the X-wing kind of went down, kind of slid to a stop, exploded. You would kind of make out the jets coming from the ejection chair as it was like kind of like hovering down, and like some of them failing. So I mean, he let's say he's about 200-300 feet outside of the actual compound. So that's still a fair ways away from where you are right now, which is closer to the other side of the compound.
Right. Well, basically at that first transmission of that he was going down, as I begin to appear, I'll glance over my shoulder. The wind billowing the hood back as the red flare and flames is reflected in my mask, and I will turn back to Major Durant and say, let's end this. I have more important things to do, and I will close and attack.
Okay. So it'll be the exact same difficulty of 3 as he hears you say that, and he kind of moves he's kind of like aimed out and kind of ready exactly where you're standing, like listening to what you've said.
So 1 hit and 2 advantage.
Okay. And he will defend. Okay. So he manages to kind of parry your weapon a little bit, and it kind of slides up. It does kind of strike him a little bit, as he does have he advantaged out, but he didn't successfully parry. So he'll take whatever the damage is. He'll actually take half that damage. So normally it would be what was it,
So
6?
half, yeah, so it'd be 3, and then also there's -2 to any soak.
Okay. Okay. So there you are. I'm going to kill one of you. I swear it. And he kind of comes out low with his sword, and he attacks you. Okay. Yeah. So he comes by. He sees kind of where your vibrosword had kind of like went off, and he automatically saw where you were going to be. So he just comes right up and kind of gets in real close, like 2 feet, and just stabs you straight in the side. If you have if you can defend, or if you can make your defense roll, please.
And that's coordination?
No, that'll think of it just like an attack. Think of it like an opposed attack.
Okay.
So basically,
so it'd be melee?
Yeah, so it'll be the same difficulty, the difficulty of 3. Your proficiency and skill dice, and then we'll eliminate that way.
Okay. Oh, not too bad.
I would say that's mighty fine work right there. Damn, mighty fine work. So, he doesn't he manages to get it close, stab it up, but you manage to flex and bend your body just at the right moment, and he only seems to kind of give you just a kind of almost like he just rubs against the armor. He doesn't even cause you any damage. He just seems to rub against the armor, and because you've rolled a triumph, awesome. Please tell me what happens. How do you change the story? Because love triumphs.
Well, I don't know how far I can go with it, but what I've visualized it is, as you said, he predicted my movement, and he's there waiting for me, but I'm able to bend and twist so that as his blade, it feels like it's striking home to him. Basically, it just skids along the armor as it pierces into the robes, and basically what I would like to do is continue that momentum and basically try to, I don't know if that would be like an attack, to either position myself behind him or use the momentum to catch his weapon in the robes as I spin to kind of pull him off balance, to kind of pull him forward as I spin around behind him. Uh-oh, that's 3.
All right, you know what that means, folks. I'm going to flip a destiny die back to light, which could be the very thing that you need to finish the major off. All right, so so you're using this. You actually so you come up and you basically spin around him. So basically, when he stabs up, he's almost kind of stabbing into air as you move around him. Okay, yeah. So he kind of looks, he like, almost like frantic. Well, and you can use this. I'm assuming you want to use this chance to attack.
Correct.
And unless you ridiculously whiffle it, it's basically a difficulty of 1.
Okay.
So go ahead and roll your attack, because you're right behind him. Get ready for like 5 triumphs or something ridiculous like that. No, close enough.
4 hits, 2 advantage.
Yeah. So as Actually, wait a minute. That would be... Okay. What happens? What happens as you finish him off?
Okay, so basically, as he's coming up with his momentum, and I kind of spin around, and it does catch me, but I continue moving, and he kind of steps forward as I come behind him, and I continue that momentum and spin 360s. I bring up my blade and just take his head. And there's that moment where he gets that kind of perplexed look as he takes a step forward, and then his head goes rolling, and the body just falls down.
I love that. Yeah, it's just like, it's almost like he's just like, and the head just continues, falling backwards, tapping, and then falling straight off of the ATST. His body kind of slumping forward and moving over top of the cover, or the two viewports of the ATST. He just kind of flops right over, and you kind of hear, "What the hell was that?" And you start hearing some movement as the one gunner is trying to open the hatch that you're currently standing on top of.
Okay, if I can, when he starts to fall, I want to grab for his fine blade, since he won't really be needing it anymore.
Well, actually, so when he died, like as is, like his muscles basically tensed up for a moment and then completely relaxed. So I mean, the sword has fallen like onto the I guess that top parapet area of the walker, and is just kind of rattling around there. So basically he took a step, dropped the sword, took a couple steps, and just flopped over.
Okay, so what I would like to do is plant a foot down on it to make sure it doesn't fall.
Okay.
And as I step off of the doorway thing that the guy's trying to open, and while he's attempting to open that, once I step off, I'm reaching into my little pack and pulling out my thermal detonator. And as soon as he pops that open, I'm going to activate it and toss it in, if I can.
Okay, I see what you're doing. All right, so very quickly, just make me just a coordination check to see if you can grab the sword, because the walker is still moving, so the sword is just kind of like rolling. It's pinging off and stuff. So it'll be a difficulty of 2.
Okay. Coordination, so that would be 3, 2, 2. Advantage.
Okay. You go and reach for it, and as the walker hits a bump, it kind of rolls and tumbles. You don't quite have it, but you manage to kind of put your foot, like slam your foot down. You just kind of have it on the on the blade. You've taken your foot off of the hatch to grab the blade, and now you're kind of in a position. You're in a position though that you can still attack, but you at least have the sword, or at least you've got control of the sword. So it'll be easy. It'll be just, you won't even have to roll for it when you grab the sword in a second. However, the hatch opens up. The gunner looks, and he kind of looks in front. First, he actually does look in front, and he sees Major Durant's form. He doesn't even see his head, but he sees his form. He's looking at basically his butt as he's laying down. And he's like, "Sir? Sir?" And he kind of looks up at you, and he goes to fumble for his pistol. And basically what we're going to do now is we're going to very quickly just quickly roll up an initiative order, which, I mean, is kind of useless, but we'll just roll up an initiative order just for all the same, because he's one of these and he's one of those.
Is it cool again or vigilance?
It's going to be cool for you. It's going to be vigilance for him, because
I knew he was coming, so...
Yeah, and you kind of scared the poop out of him.
So 2 successes.
Yeah. Oop. That was close. You know what? Gonna give it to the player. because reasons. So go for it. He's kind of he's trying to fumble around for it as he's staring at you wide-eyed, almost in a panic, because you're standing there. You know, you got this bloodied vibrosword, and you're kind of holding onto his sword. You look like some kind of a martial artist master, you know, kind of balancing a sword on your foot while holding another sword in your hand, you know, kind of raised up, and he's just like, oh. So, go ahead, your move.
So to attack, how many difficulty would it be?
You know what? He's just in the engaged range, so he's like close. You're gonna have to stretch out and reach, so it'll be a difficulty of 2.
Okay. Let's go to the check. Yeah, 2. 3 hits and a triumph.
Yeah, he did. You know what? As a matter of fact, just for the sake of speed, you basically he pops his head out as he's fumbling. He kind of just feels almost like a wind, and he has just enough time to look up at you and see the sword just take his head clean off, and the vibrosword kind of clangs into the side of the hatch, and because it's actually dug into the hatch because of the vibro-blade's abilities, it's actually holding the head on top of the hatch, like stuck to the hatch, kind of bobbling around as the whole body just falls limp into the compartment. You don't see anything else, but you do see the walker is kind of starting to slow a bit, because, you know, as the driver's like, the hell was that?
Would I have any kind of basic common knowledge of like what kind of crew complement there is in the ATSD? Is it just 2, or can be more? Or
you would know that it's basically like any sort of a military type of like small vehicle like this. You would know that it's around 2 individuals. You know, it's a driver and a gunner. You know, it's very similar to any heavy weapons. So I mean, in your time of having to take out bad people, you know, you can understand defenses.
Okay, so basically what I want to do then, when I can, is I'm basically going to, if I need to pull the hatch the rest of the way open, I'm going to jump down inside the ATSD.
Okay. All right. You're definitely not messing around now. So as you jump down, the driver kind of looks as like, why is there a second thump? So as he turns around and looks, the walker actually lurches to a stop, and he goes and he lunges at you. And what I need you both, what we're gonna have both of you guys do, is make an opposed brawn check. And if memory serves me correctly, an opposed check is not done with difficulty. It's just a straight roll, and whoever's higher wins. Is that correct? I believe it's not done with the difficulty. Isn't that?
Technically, it is difficulty of the opposing,
Okay.
but you can do it however you want. If you want to do it, I've done it both ways. So.
Okay. Well, I mean, if you're cool, we'll just basically, he goes to grapple you, and basically it's a fight. You've obviously got your sword out, but he's gonna try and do it barehanded, like a boss.
Yeah, I'll do that too. I'll just do a brawn check. Now, just to double check, I'm going to use a strain because it, as of my genetics, allows me to use that to get a boost on straight brawn checks. So
yeah, for sure.
Any kind of brawn roll. So basically, brawn plus that. Oh shit! I didn't roll. Sorry, I didn't roll difficulty.
No. That's fine. That's totally fine.
Okay.
It's you know what? He's got a brawn of 2. So, I mean,
okay.
I'm not even going to bother rolling. Just because of the fact that you just rolled like 5 successes and like 5 advantage. So basically, you grab the guy, And you see him trying to fight back, but clearly this man's brawn is put towards, delicately controlling his machine, not actually like doing any like hard physical work. So you basically you overpower him. He's trying to fight you back, and you're basically pushing him down. You now have a quick attack on him. Would you like if you want to take advantage and press the attack, you can just make an attack.
Okay. So what would be the difficulty?
So it'll actually be a difficulty of 3, and the reason why is because you're in cramped quarters.
Right, we're entangled. And
yeah, and I'm actually gonna pop a destiny point, and I'm gonna say it'll actually be 1 red, 1 purple. That's
Okay,
so one red, 1 purple. Yeah.
So yeah, 3 hits and
Yeah, he did.
advantage.
Yeah, he did. He's so dead. Matter of fact, he's dead. You managed to find the only necromancer on Thyferra. You raised him up from the dead. Then you killed him again. He did.
Okay, so basically at that point I want to secure the hatch and then take over this ATST and start shooting up some stormtroopers.
Sure. At this point, so as you go into the cockpit, and you kind of, as you flip some switches and kind of get kind of a general sense of like what's going on, you do hear the wings of the Blood Eagles kind of like screeching. You hear screams of what you can assume are stormtroopers, and you hear blaster fire shooting all over the place. Right now, you know that the remaining stormtroopers are now engaged with these pain in the ass birds, and there isn't a single super grenadier in sight as far as they're concerned. So right now, you would know that they are all currently engaged.
Okay, so basically I'm going to communicate. This is Varric. I have control of the ATST. What are your positions?
Would I hear that on my comms?
Yes, you would. Even though you are attached to Blood 2 and Blood 3, you also do have like the separate comms for the other 3.
I'll sort of through gritted teeth. I'll give you my rough position of sort of how far I am outside the main compound. My fighter's toasted. I'm sure you probably saw. I've taken a couple of hits. I'm bleeding a bit, but I can still move.
And as my incidental, I'll go ahead and connect to the comm and then kind of adjust it so that it's permanently on, so that whenever I say something, everybody else is going to hear me, because I'm kind of dual wielding, or not dual wielding, I'm using both hands. All information received. Still in the hallway, still in the alley, making my way out. Kojamal, over.
The ion bomb is a dud. God will be pissed at me for this, but it doesn't work. We are coming around to your position. We have a few people. Some of these Black Claws say they work on. We call us soft organics. They can work on you if you need help. I'm leaving this stupid thing here. Stick with frag grenades. Always remember that. And he kind of comes back. So right now, with most of the stormtroopers dead or dying, the ATST now is out of commission.
along with the other ATST, which is a smoking hulk. At least this one seems to be in some kind of working order. The battle, it seems, is done for now. There is a hush amongst the small fires and small explosions around the district. Buildings lie in smoking craters. War machines, droids, and even a few of the Vratix Black Claw saboteurs lay dead near the near where you entered, and but for now, you appear to be safe. What would you like to do?
Presumably meet up at whatever sort of pre-arranged coordinates we'd got.
So I would kind of put you, if you guys can still see the map, Salin, I would kind of put you around here.
Sorry, where are you put? Oh yeah, I see. Yep.
Yep. So kind of around, right around here. You know, as this was probably like where, you know, this area. Can't really move the thing up. Screw you, MS Paint. You should be better for a free thing. I imagine this to be like kind of a main thoroughfare here, like running where my cursor is, like past this wall. This wall has been destroyed following the almost nuclear-sized explosion from last session. So you're kind of laying here, hurt a bit, and right now you see a couple of Black Claw saboteurs kind of rushing over to help you and kind of like dole you out with some kind of like Bacta-soaked gauze and rubs to kind of like push into your wounds to kind of close them up.
I'm just gonna wait, hold on a minute before you do that. There's something I've got to do, and I'm just gonna reach down to like the sort of a bit of the twisted wreckage next to me and lift up a slightly scorched hat and go, right, let's get out of here.
You just like wanted a small piece?
Yeah, I'm just gonna pick my hat up out of the wreckage, stick it on my
Nice.
bumps, and then I'm good to go.
And kind of they both the two of the saboteurs kind of look at each other, kind of like clicking and in a very kind of confused kind of whatever, man, let's go. And they both kind of grab you and lift you up. And for very slender framed insects, they're actually quite strong. I mean, they both seem to kind of lift you up as if you weigh virtually nothing, and they kind of rush you back inside. Kind of around the wreckage, kind of like this way, through this, like just skirting around the fires and the other damage, and kind of going here, setting up kind of a triage area right here. Just put T. There we go. That's the worst T ever, but shut up. And basically now they're setting up, so any wounded Vratix, any of you guys that are wounded, they're just kind of setting up an area where they can kind of get you hooked up with some Bacta, get you hooked up with some bandages, kind of like stem the flow of bleeding and any blaster wounds. So if you guys can, if you could just everyone gets recovers about half the wounds they've sustained. So if you regain half of your wounds, up to 50%, just because like they've covered all your injuries. Obviously, it's going to take just a little bit of time for you guys to get back to your full health, and some extra time.
I imagine that as the other guys sort of turn up, I'm sort of like being bandaged up, like slightly scorched down one side of my face, like blood all over one of my arms, and I'll be like, "What took you so long?"
And I'll kind of what took me so long is. I can't think of his name. Spec's here. Did you see him? He's running around here somewhere.
No, I didn't see him. I was a little preoccupied.
And at that point, Kojamal comes kind of running around the corner, getting everything kind of set up, doing kind of a stalk on all the different ordnance that they've kind of collected while running and getting to the position that they got to.
Oh, look at this. Another frag grenade, frag grenade, frag grenade, thermal detonator, frag grenade, anti-personnel mine. Frag grenade, frag grenade. So, he's just kind of counting up little things. He actually sent 3 or 4 of the Black Claw saboteurs to kind of wander around, try and pick up any loose ordnance or try and look for any other ordnance in any of the other buildings. But again, for right now, everything's kind of sorted out. As you gentlemen are kind of a lot better off than you were, you now, for right now, at least have the ability to wander around and see what you can see. If you guys have the map, or you need me to put it up?
No, I don't. Not personally. But I will look at everybody and be like, we still have our mission. We need to get that Bacta out. Now look at the Vratix, your transport. That'll carry the Bacta to where we need it.
Transport. We take Bacta to tunnel. Take Bacta away. But we hurry. They bring more.
Let's do it then.
And they begin to run to 18320A and B. And as they get there, everything seems hunky-dory. They managed to pull most of the Imperial Bacta out, and still 183-20 Bravo. You see on the door, it looks like a seal, or at least it looks like an engraving into both halves of the door as it kind of opens up. There's 2 halves opening that way, and you see stamped in the door. There's an 8 on one side of the door, 8 on the other side of the door. And it almost seems to be locked.
So this door didn't open up when we got close to it then?
It did not.
Okay. Is there some type of electrical box on the outside or anything?
There does not appear to be.
Okay. Is there... I'll take the time and look around, but I'm going to look for a power conduit of some sort that goes into the building itself.
Okay. So you do see one kind of a cable as you walk around the building. It looks like it goes from Alpha to Bravo, kind of like on the very edge in the kind of around the back from Alpha to Bravo, and it seems very thin. It seems like a very thin kind of a cable, like almost too small. But that seems to be the only kind of a cable running, what seems to be running anywhere near from one warehouse to another.
Okay. So with my between computers and mechanics, this is the obvious choice. And trying to think, and this is running on the ground between those 2, correct?
That's correct.
But there's no other like conduit going into this building. I'll have to go check the other one. So let whoever needs to, because I want to make sure that I'm getting the primary power source to possibly try to open the doors by breaking basically all power from the two buildings.
Okay, I like it. So it seems like the most logical thing is this small wire. You're not even. I mean, it kind of seems like the right one, but I mean, there's nothing else unless they put the power cables underground. Like that's the only thing you can possibly think of as the other case. Either they put the power cables underground, or it's that cable. You're not sure.
And the only reason to put power cables up top if it has to be done hastily or if it's there for a little while. Nothing permanent.
Can we all see this?
Yeah, I mean, it's not it's not like razor thin that you have to like ultimate perception. It's basically just like one cable like from A to B.
Can I see if I can possibly make a perception roll to work out what might be the best place to break it or interfere with it, sort of following the route of it?
I like it. Yeah, no, definitely.
Because remember, I am still talking, so whatever I'm saying or thinking, I'm out loud. They can't hear because I'm not. Remember, I turned it on and left it.
Yeah, for sure. No, for sure. Oh, I better go to that. So we're looking at about a difficulty of, say, difficulty of 2.
Okay. 2 advantages and 1 success.
Very nice. I mean, cutting it anywhere will destroy any part of the cable in its entirety. Other than that, just wrecking it is wrecking it.
I'm just going to look for a sort of point where it might have already been damaged by stuff that's going on, so it'll be easier to cut.
It does not seem to have been damaged by anything. It's just a straight cable, and no.
I'd just say I think you can cut it anywhere, Mercer.
All right. I'm going to do something a little off the books, really. I mean, this is something that's completely... I'm going to use a destiny point, so bear with me on this. What I want to do is remember a conversation, something that I did with Agent 42, I believe. I have to look.
You mean 52?
52, thank you. I even have it right there. Look at that. Big old octagon 5 different times. Something about that would probably give me a clue about maybe this power cord, like something he said, like some kind of number, some kind of minor phrase. And it's not, I mean, it could have been just one of those quick, something that would probably, like, I don't know, kind of not seem right, but all of a sudden, right now, it seems perfectly clear what he's meant.
Okay. You as you were speaking to him that one time when he kind of appeared to you as that one poor dock worker. You remember hearing a voice, or you remember hearing him say, "Don't underestimate them. Unit 88 has been around for a long, long time, and they know how to keep themselves hidden, and they most certainly know how to ensure their survival. We have been around since the Republic. Be careful."
And I'll kind of start saying that. I'm like, whatever you do, do not touch those wires. And I'll look for something else, but I mean, to be honest, I think blasting the doors would be dumb, but what if we blasted a wall or a corner instead of the objective, and it would be on the opposite side of where the wire or this wire is connected to, on the other side of the building on a corner, away from the doors and even everything. So that's where we're going to place the explosives to gain entry.
Okay, so you're gonna place it on the side, like on the wall.
It's going to be like a wall. It
Gotcha.
can be in the corner, just not even on the door, on in the opposite side of the two wires. And I'm kind of like remembering what he said about this, so everybody else is hearing, this part of the conversation, or my part, what I'm saying.
Now I'm trying to think of what would be.
Well, it would just be
No, I'm assuming.
planting the explosive and then just come back and charge it.
All right, so let's for giggles, just so I can pretend to follow some kind of a logic. Let's say that we're going to have you roll a mechanics check, just to kind of set up everything, get the wiring, get the electronics kind of all set up for this big pile of Kojamal fireworks together, just to set it off. So
Okay.
Go for it.
Alrighty.
Difficulty of I'll say a difficulty of 3, given that not all of these explosives are supposed to be put together or even kept in the same building, as you've clearly demonstrated.
Okay. And I gain a bonus die on that, so we got 2 and 1. And I've already used Destiny, so I'm not going to use another one.
Makes sense.
And okay.
All right. Well, we know it goes off. I mean, that's a shoo-in. For anyone watching at home right now, he rolled 3 successes, 3 threats, and a triumph. So, besides the fact that it blew, tell me your successes, and
Okay.
then tell me your triumph.
All right. Where we're placing it, Kojima was kind of like, no, not there. We need to put it more here because this is where I would put a tank, and kind of like listening to what he is, but at the same time being hesitant. I will agree, and we kind of move it, and it does the hole that we breaks through, but it's not a huge major hole. It's still smaller, and I'm not trying to mess with the threat because we were trying to focus so that it can actually gain access, and then we still have to kind of open it up. However, and I'll say the triumph is this explosion did not mess with the Bacta in any way. In fact, Bacta's probably further in the middle, and it was being Kojima and knowing explosives and knowing how to place things. He was correct on this whole thing, and now you can do your threat.
Okay, so with the 3 threats, is actually based off of the 3 of you. All 3 of you were standing just slightly too close, and each of you, while none of you suffer a wound, you each suffer 1 point of strain as the explosion kind of rips through, hits you. The force just pounding in your chest like a hammer. I'm sorry. I love when you do that. It's just like, okay. Well played, sir. The hole is still like dust swirling around from the wind and the force and the wind of the fires that have been raging through 183-B. The smoke begins to clear. As you look inside, you see that you were correct. The Bacta has not been disturbed in any way because there's no Bacta in there. You see in the dim lighting that is now kind of sparking with the damage from the explosion, the lights just. You see something in the center of the room, or of the warehouse. This empty, warehouse. It's a data pad. As you all walk up to the data pad, you see something written on it. It is a file just blinking up. And that's where we're going to put our tide change. What is written on the data pad that you found in the now empty warehouse for Unit 88's Bacta? We will start from the left as I quickly grab my notepad because I'm going to need that. Varric, what was on the data pad?
If you don't mind, can you skip me and give me a second?
Oh, yes, of course, of course. Mercer, what was on the data pad?
The engineer that helped us, or tried to help us in a sense, earlier at Morbos, he during the commotion beforehand, he saw them basically moving because they figured that we were there for that reason. And through the commotion, he was able to slip in, and then before the doors actually closed, left it there in case we were able to get in with clues of where they were planning on taking this load of the Bacta.
Okay. Salin. Or actually, sorry, Varric, are you still thinking, or are you good?
Yeah, I have an idea.
Okay.
As previously, we had somehow attracted the attention of that one individual that seemed to be aware of some of us having certain abilities and had sent us somewhere.
You mean the force sensitive engineer Chance?
Right. What I'm thinking is that on the data pad, basically there's just coordinates, and what it is that it's another individual, but I'm thinking more one that's maybe towards the dark side, that has taken what we're looking for in order to force us to meet with him.
Interesting. Okay. Salin.
Okay, I'm going to say that as we look at the data pad, there's like a light blinking on it, and it was basically a comm system that's linked to like the long-range comm system they use on the base. So it triggered to go when the door opened, and it's actually sending out a signal to Imperial reinforcements who are like waiting on the edge of the system.
Wow, you really want to sabotage this, don't you? What's in the forest? Deadly predators are going to kill us. What's on the data pad? Reinforcements coming to kill us.
Hey, put it this way, man. If you bust into somewhere expecting to find one thing and there's just a single data pad sat on a table, it's never a good thing.
You know what? Maybe it's a looped video of Nyan Cat.
That's still not a good thing.
Yeah, I was going to say maybe yeah.
Or maybe it's a music video of what does the Wookiee say?
No, please no.
On an endless loop.
Oh, I just want to die.
It's rigged to explode the Bacta if you stop it.
Well, actually, oh man, that'd be worse. Reinforcements. Okay, so now what is going to happen is we're going to take a 15-minute break. I am going to set this up on the Facebook page and give everyone a chance who is watching, all two of you, because I know I'm one of the three, give a chance to vote in and tell us how you want the story to change. Because I didn't see any of these coming. I'm not going to lie to you. I really did not. So we'll see what happens. And I wish you all, I hope you're enjoying yourselves as much as I am, as much as hopefully these guys are, and we will see you in 15 minutes for the latter half of the Heart of the Empire. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you soon. Hey everybody, we still have a few more minutes, but I just wanted to pop on early and again espouse the greatness that is the Tides of Change role-playing game club on Facebook. Again, if you guys haven't checked it out, or if you don't know what the heck I'm talking about, go into Facebook, excuse me, and check out, go under the search, under groups, and type out the Tides of Change role-playing game club. And if you're not a member, I would highly suggest coming on. If you love Star Wars, if you love the Fantasy Flight games, Star Wars games, by all means, hop on, and you'll find lots of people. There are over 360 members in this group. A lot of them, if not all of them, actually yes, all of them are really great people. Maybe you've never played this game before, and you think to yourself, hey, it seems kind of interesting, and I love Star Wars. I mean, who doesn't love Star Wars? It's Star Wars, come on. If you have a chance, though, definitely check it out. Coming together with a group of people, sitting down, for 3+ hours, and just getting into a story, losing yourself in this amazing universe that is Star Wars is just it's great. I can't tell you, it's so much fun. And excuse me, for anyone who is curious, we are playing, or at least I am running right now. This is Age of Rebellion. So it is a time during the period of the first 3 movies, A New Hope. Right now, actually, we're basically on the cusp, or just around the time of The Empire Strikes Back. So the game began especially if you're just tuning in now, the game began at the Battle of Hoth, and is now following these individuals as they continue basically fighting during this very kind of frightening time with the rebellion, the rebel fleet kind of fractured, and many different cells are just scrambling to try and make sense of the Imperial sweep over the different rebel or the sweep over Echo Base at Hoth. So it's very much just a really fascinating and it's, again, a wonderful time period. I love it, and if memory serves me correctly, because I'm pretty sure someone's going to correct me, and I'm pretty sure that person's Gabe, because Gabe knows pretty much damn near everything about Star Wars, that if memory serves me correctly, between the second of the original 3 and the third of the original 3 is actually a 2-year window, I think. So between Hoth and Endor it was almost like 2 years where there was some fighting. But I'm sure I'll get corrected and chastised at some point, and many people will be like, "You're wrong! You're a scumbag!" But I accept this.
If you want it to be 19 years, it's 19 years. Bam, done.
Oh, no, that's just silly. Stop being silly, Gabe.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, now that everyone's back, I shall not keep them any longer, and we'll continue. The most certain winner, I'll just throw it out right now, Mercer, congratulations. And we will continue with... oh, there we go. Ah, whoa, wow. That made me like transparent. I really got to get a tan wherever that is. So let's continue with session 9. Mercer, as you reach down and pick up the data pad, frustrated at the fact that it is simply an empty building, you look and you see written by Chance, and of course Chance the individual, not by chance, coincidentally. And I'll read it in his kind of his thing. Hey, Havoc Squad, I knew you guys would get here quickly, and good for you for it. This probably wasn't an easy battle for yous. But I'll tell you right now, Unit 88 was onto your shit. And they took it, they took the Bacta and they moved it. As you're reading this, it's probably on a transport right now. But be careful, it's not just any transport, it's an armored transport. So if you guys are going to get out there, and if you guys are going to hook up with these guys, try and get that Bacta out of here, that's on you. I'm proud of you guys for all the work that you did. I'm proud of you for how long and how hard you probably fought to get here. And hopefully right now, Major Durant is dead. Can't tell you what a big chunk of Banta Poodoo that guy was, if you know what I'm saying. So look, not much for words, but just want to let you know. Let's go kick some butt for the rebellion. And may the force be with you. And then it says chance. Oh, and then he goes like just a little bit under. Oh yeah, one thing I forgot. The name of it. It's the name of the ship. The Redeemer. Find the Redeemer and take it out. Wasn't sure where it's headed. Maybe you boys can find it out. Maybe you boys can catch it.
And I'll look at Salin. Try to meet it in the air.
Yep.
I'll look at Varric and kind of look at Kojimo, kind of get a consensus of that's the best place we want to meet up with this transport. Of course, after figuring out where it left from and where it might be going.
All right. So if you guys are done, because right now the place is on fire. You can hear sirens wailing in the distance. You have a chance very quickly to check out at least one or two of the remaining warehouses that are kicking around, if you wish, or if you want to get going, you can also get going.
What's left standing at this point?
A very good question, and I will tell you that right now. So currently, what is the ones that are left? At least the ones that are closest to you. Given that I'm assuming that you think the time is of the essence.
Mm-hmm.
You have 18319, 18316, 18315, 18321, and 18318. The other ones are either smoldering, fires are catching onto it, or it's across the entire compound, which will take you probably a good 5-minute run. And even then, that's a bit of a optimistic number to get up to. So basically 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 21. You know that 20 A and B both contained Bacta. The Vratix are already off taking all of the just Imperial Bacta out of 20A, and they've already started, they're already moving it and loading it onto their little tunnel skiff. They're using hover jacks, basically pallet jacks that just hover like 0G, loading it on and just kind of rushing it to where they're taking it off to.
All right, so I'll kind of knowing where 16 is, and well, that might be on the way out. Check that building.
Okay.
Just kind of get a consensus of everybody, you know, like yes or like no. Let's just get going.
I'll not. The only thing I possibly want to do, if I can on the way out, is I want to see if I can scoop up the R2 unit that I ejected from the X-wing.
If you were to do that, it would probably be about a good 15-20 minutes out of your way. The R2 unit landed, like the R2 unit shot out of your X-wing at quite a speed, and is probably like halfway across like 2 other warehouse districts at this point.
How long do we have before we have to get skyward, Mercer?
Well, I gotta figure out. I gotta get with Morble or someone to get me no information and I'll be like, yeah, the information people are rebel base here. They are full of information. They don't know what's necessarily inside. I'll try to contact them and see if there was any transport by the Redeemer that was left, and when it left and where it's maybe headed. And I will actually, in the rubble and everything else, and I'm going to try to see if I can find a. It's hard to say what it is, but it's like a landline system, but more of a long-ranged comm. The bigger one, you know, the little bit, trying to get into communication with the rebel base.
Okay.
That's what I'm going to try to find and everything.
So you just want to kind of like hunt around for like through the different warehouses looking for comm signal, or?
Well, I don't want to take a lot of time because I mean, any time that we take here is actually going to be a lot faster than heading back to the base itself. But yeah, I definitely want to try to find some kind of long-range comm device. Yeah.
Okay, I'll let you know now. Is that if you you would have talked to Major Ixon or Colonel Ixon, and you guys would have had a frequency for them.
I kind of figured.
Yeah, your own comm unit, you can talk directly to the communications base. So that part's not an issue. You don't have to waste time hunting around for that.
Oh, the ones they gave us, they were long range.
Yes. Yeah, they're long range in a sense, and they are also encrypted to be able to speak directly to the communications base if you needed it.
Oh wow. Okay. Wow. Okay. So, fortunately, Kojima would be the perfect person for this type of job. So, let's be. Yeah. I mean, I kind of came up with it to let them know, kind of get the information, then they can look for things. I'm gonna try to find. What's his name? Colonel Ixon Trailer.
Yep.
And yeah, I mean like Colonel Mercer here.
Colonel guy.
Yeah, Mercer here.
Mercer. Well, it's very nice to hear your voice again. How did the Worker Warehouse District happen? We heard there was some explosions, and we heard a lot of chatter over the comms. So what happened, sir?
Everything that you heard is correct, and it's smoldering now. However, the information is of essence. Transport, Redeemer, left within the day.
All right. Well, let's have ourselves a look here. So just types up on the like. You hear him kind of like ordering people to type up. Yes, the Redeemer. It's an armed transport. It's looks like it might be under a civilian unit. I don't know. Anyway, maybe I'll go check them out. Looks like they're still in orbit, just about to leave. If you hurry up, you might be able to catch them.
What docking bay and sector of the city?
They're in orbit right now. Their ship non-transport's probably too big to land here in Zach.
Gotcha. Okay.
That being said, they probably use some sort of a small light transport or shuttle to move all the Bacta up there. So if you all hurry, what we did for you, and don't take it personally, you don't tell Salin too much. Come on back to the communications unit. We got your shuttle, made a few repairs to it, and also did you all a little favor. So why don't you come back here real quick and you can be on your way.
Yes, sir.
All right. Trelo out.
Mercer out. And kind of like, because like I said, I did have my comms on for everybody to hear me. They kind of heard the conversation, and yeah, so whatever they can find, and I'm going to be kind of ready to go.
Okay, well then I'll turn to Salin and Varric. What are you guys? Do you guys have? You guys are probably able to have enough time to look at one warehouse and probably grab one or two things if you find anything.
I'll just help Varric looking in whichever warehouse he decides to go for. Help him carry some extra stuff if there is anything.
Okay. So, what number are you going to pick, Varric?
We were on the north side, right?
So you're basically you're actually on the east side, and you have, as a matter of fact, you know what? I'm being ridiculous. Just give me one quick second. Boom, boom. There we go. So right now you guys are about here.
Mm-hmm.
So you have this one. Basically, you could probably look at any one of these. You could hit 14. It'll just take you more time. And technically, you could hit these other ones, but again, it'll take you more time. That's probably precious to you now.
Yeah, that's the only reason why I brought up 16, just because I knew it was right there. And also the die rolls that I was doing.
If we're from where you said we're at, it seems like 21 would be, because we'd be right there, right?
Yep, 21 is right there. Well, same thing with 16. So if you guys are pretty much, technically this is B.
Okay, yes, it's just on my map the arrow's covering up where 16's at. So yeah, we can do 16. That's fine.
Okay.
So that's right there too.
Excuse me. So as you and Salin rush into 16, you kind of come in and you see like stacks and stacks of crates, plasteel crates all around, and even a couple of crates are kind of laying right there in front of you. One of them is actually even opened up. Looking inside, you actually find a what seems to be binders. Just your average binders, just simple manacles with an electronic lock. You also find an electronic lock breaker.
I believe that could come in handy.
Most certainly. You also find a one comm jammer. And finally, because the two of you have been searching together, it's basically 2 items per person, you also find one Black Ops data breaker.
I believe this shall prove useful for us.
Absolutely.
So you guys definitely kind of lucked out there. You as you begin gathering all these things up, one of the Vratix comes to you.
It is done. We go now.
and it begins to run in the direction of that Morbo's kind of false warehouse.
Okay. And definitely follow them, since this is definitely somewhere I don't know about, so they know where they're going.
As you begin to run, if you could make me a perception check, Salin, as you guys are all running, you kind of exit the area and you're beginning to run. You're pretty much almost at the warehouse. Just make me a perception.
What's the difficulty?
Difficulty of 2. No, 3. 2.
1 success, 2 advantages.
With that roll, you look over just in time as you sneak in. You see about 3 skiffs full of stormtroopers, each one carrying about 10 stormtroopers. And go, they're in there. And you see them kind of
shout to the others. I'll be like, everybody, move quickly!
And they all start running, doing their like best Roadrunner act. They zip off, get into it. I need you to make me a coordination check, Salin, as you're kind of bringing up the rear as you're the most injured.
What's the difficulty?
Difficulty of 2.
Just 1 advantage.
Okay. As you know, you just seem to zip across. You just kind of rush off. You just narrowly miss of getting hit by a skiff that's kind of like trying to swerve around the stormtrooper base. Lucky for you, and you manage to run in, slam the door, or at least hit the door close, slams down, and for now, you guys are safe. The Vratix, the saboteurs kind of begin to move. You see the last of the barrels of Bacta being like kind of pushed, like pulled down, handed down to the skiff. It's certainly a bit tighter in the skiff now, with like quite a few crates or quite a few barrels. There's even a few barrels that have been left over. But what you notice is that the Vratix are ripping off the symbols for the Bacta and all the information, and they're actually putting on in basic. You see peach brandy, pear brandy, berry brandy, and it's exactly in Morbo's writing as they're kind of like putting it on, kind of covering up the fact that it's Bacta, and it all looks like just her standard bits of like basic standard homebrew alcohol. So they hop in with probably a good half of it, and they kind of beckon the 3 of you to come on.
Okay.
Yep. Get on board.
And the ride is relatively uneventful. You see the mood is a bit somber amongst the Vratix. What was 15 Vratix that had left for this fight is now 10, as 5 of them had fallen to Imperial weapons. They look at you, each one of you, appraisingly or approvingly, knowing that we all fought hard to survive. The second in command, who didn't really reveal their name, kind of puts a hand on Kojamal's shoulder. Even the sound of the wind being forced through the tunnel as the skiff makes its way along even seems to die down as this one Vratix, this one saboteur. You all fight hard. You all proud member Black Claw. Brother, sister, die. Die for cause. We no forget. We proud fight with you. Now we celebrate. And he taps the barrels of Bacta. as you get to the rendezvous point, you see that same skiff driver. Of course, you three would not have known this skiff driver. Was the one that drove Kojamal. A lot calmer this time than the last time, because he, kind of a bit of a white-knuckled skiff driver. He seems happy as the Vratix are loading all of this Bacta, which is a lot of Bacta. Begins to load it all onto the skiff. All right. Hello. Very good to see you again. Some of you are looking a bit worse for wear, but still. Heard what happened. Well done. And he slaps you on the back, Mercer, kind of like a, well done, you. Probably into one spot where you've probably been shot, because that's how he rolls. He's a dick like that, communications guys. Sorry about that. Anyway, if you'll all come on, we'll have you looked at. We've got a few Bacta tanks in there, kind of heal you up a bit if you need it. Anyway, talking too much, I do that. I do that. And he just kind of starts the skiff, and he kind of makes a quick U-turn, almost too quick. You see like a couple of the Bacta barrels begin to tip to one side, and then just kind of go back on its own, just lucky. And he begins to shoot off towards the base.
I'll sit in the back of the skiff and I'll just be like, well, it's not exploding around me. I suppose that's something.
Very true. Very true. The familiar beacons, almost hidden, almost impossible to see in the backdrop of the thick jungle, begins to blink ever so slightly, and you realize that you are almost there. You see what almost looks like a natural cavern in kind of the rocky sort of cliff sides. Suddenly comes into focus as it opens up. Skiff drives through, and you actually you don't see any of the X-wings. The colonel is waiting for you there, and you also see the Finders Keepers. Your ship. It's sitting there, looking totally fine, looking just as it was. Actually, if anything, it's probably a little bit cleaner. Looks like they washed it a bit, little detail work.
Did they get rid of that dead body smell?
They did, and Salin will be happy to know they probably also got rid of that damn squeak in the pilot seat. That annoying one that you never seem to get rid of.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's there, it's shiny, it's pretty. The colonel's waiting there as you guys basically skiff stops. You guys hop off. He kind of motions to 2 or 3 of the standard workers there, and they begin to pull the Bacta off and kind of get it ready off to one side for transport. Well, boys, I'll keep this brief. I just want you to know that we're real proud of what you did down here. We also talked to Alliance Command, and I will say that Captain Riggs going to want to talk to you. Probably after you try and lock down that Bacta. That surprise I told you about. Well, we went through your computer, and as it turns out, we didn't realize that y'all had a master list of every single rebel outpost and base in the entire galaxy. I'm not gonna lie. Probably not a good idea to leave that ship with that kind of data just sitting around on any Imperial-controlled world. I'm not going to lie to you there. Lucky for you, we took all that stuff off your computer, put it onto some special data pads. So now, y'all don't have to worry The only problem is, of course, y'all don't have access to all of that information. Well, good luck. May the force be with you.
Before you go, Commander, I'd like to recommend Asogi and Kavmarek for their part in this mission. I don't know whether they made it back or not, but they both fought and flew well.
Oh.
We couldn't have done this without them.
Well, I'm not going to lie to you. We've not heard back from them in a bit. Knowing them, they're probably out gallivanting about. Well, at least I hope so. What were they last doing before y'all went to town?
I was attacked by some sort of highly trained TIE fighter whilst I was trying to lead the Bloodwings back to the Imperial base. Whilst I was dealing with that, they broke off, and I lost sight of them. The flock came up all around my ship. I've not been able to make contact with them since.
I see. Well, we don't know where they are. And
well, they should be remembered. They were good men.
They were. But I will cling on to hope that maybe they're still out there. May the force be with y'all.
And with you.
And I hope you're able to secure this Bacta from the Redeemer. Now I want y'all to remember one thing. Be real careful. An armed transport is a dangerous ship. There's a reason why it's called an armed transport. So do remember the amount of weapons bristling off that thing. Now, get in your pretty rust bucket and get off my base, he says, and he's got a big grin on his face. Let's go, let's offload that Bacta, boys. And he goes to he actually goes in a gesture that you normally wouldn't see an officer do. He actually goes with his men and helps offload the Bacta. Like not just relegating it to his underlings. He actually gets in there and is like a lot of times even lifting the Bacta by himself, which Vratix are actually almost abnormally strong. As they seem to be lifting these barrels, which probably weigh a good 500-600 pounds by themselves. He's actually almost lifting it by himself, but just like in a sense of let's get this to our boys and girls at the front. Let's help our rebels. And you just see him moving with a renewed vigor, renewed motivation to go. And at this point, you gentlemen are ready to depart, unless you need to do anything else.
No. Get on board the ship.
So as you guys make your way towards the Finders Keepers, you actually see a certain quartermaster or ex-quartermaster pop his head out. Hey, what took you so long? Let's go! Come on! And Arbel is just kind of like shouting at you, telling you to get a move on.
And I'll kind of say as a last thing, well, we were told to get off his planet, off his base, so let's do that. Salin, get us to that transport.
Understood. I'll head straight to the cockpit and begin takeoff procedures.
And I'll kind of help him, whatever, a little bit that I know that, kind of flip a switch here or there, but nothing major.
Yeah, I'll be like flicking switches going through the normal landing procedures, and I'll pause for just a couple of seconds, and I'll be like, they fixed the seat. Oh, no, never mind, anyway.
So as you... Interesting. As you guys are jumping into the, you jump in, you begin to take off. The kind of like you kind of raise up The kind of the lower wings kind of extend down, lock into flight position. Your weapons everything is green across the board, and you just punch it, and you go. Immediately, the jungle just seems like an emerald blur as you go shooting past up into the sky, and eventually the sky goes from a beautiful like turquoise to a light blue, dark blue, even darker blue, indigo, ink black, and then suddenly it's as if like someone just started throwing gems into right at your cockpit as stars begin to wink into existence as you break past the ionosphere and you are now into space. The ship is basically you're now into orbit. It just seems peaceful from the amount of crap that you guys had to deal with on Thyferra. It's almost like a catharsis. This weight from the fighting and everything has just been lifted off you. And in the distance, you see a ship. It's a fairly large ship, but it almost seems like you're not sure if you've seen a ship like this before. And if anyone wants to make, I guess, what would this be? A knowledge? Is it knowledge ships? No. Hey, look, man.
Warfare, if it's a warship.
I like that thought, though. Knowledge ships. I love it.
Knowledge stuff.
I believe I'd have bought that skill if it was going.
Yeah. I know I'm terrible. Again, folks, sorry. I don't know why I have such a difficult time with skills. It's just like... Actually, you know what? If anyone wants to make a basic intelligence check, there we go. Make a basic intelligence check.
What's the difficulty?
Difficulty 2. How them brains working?
I've no idea what it is.
But apparently Mercer does. Hot damn. Mercer, you've seen ships like this before on Chandrilla. Growing up as a young boy, you realize that these ships are armed transports, almost vital to bringing foodstuffs to the rest of the core worlds and the colonies. These ships were vital to prevent against pirates and other people that want to take food, which is so incredibly precious, especially off of a beautiful agro world like Chandrilla.
And I'll kind of say that just basically, those are pirate deters. They deter pirate ships from colonies, and when they deliver food to those core planets.
What kind of heat are they packing? Any idea?
Well, let's put it this way: pirate ships don't want to mess with them. I mean, if they do, they're gonna get punched back pretty hard. See if we can try to find.
Do we have a plan? After all, I love our ship here, but we probably ain't going to stand a chance in a stand-up fight against them.
And kind of look at Varric, kind of like to see if he has any bright ideas. Is there any type of weakness that we can kind of like slip aboard, like when another transport either gets in or anything like that?
I mean, you see, this thing is bristling with guns. Like, there's, you see a couple of like forward-mounted turrets, some small winglets that also contain ion cannons and triple-mounted blaster cannons. You also can see, especially given your soldiering training, your military training, you can kind of tell what concussion missile launchers look like, and you can see at least 2 or 3 of them kicking around.
What about this? This is something that we kind of seen in one of the movies, I think. we saw it, but how is the like the situation, or how does a transport ship like this get boarded by another ship? Because they're coming up, and to kind of meet with them to get going. What is the regulations to enter?
Okay, sorry. Sorry. I first was a little bit lost. I'm like, yes.
I was too, because I was trying to come up with the word, and I was like,
that's okay. My brain just whatever. But yeah, I gotcha. Okay, so you do know that a lot of times when these ships did have to land, they had to land in like massive open tarmacs, just to like put it down. You know that your shuttle can easily fit inside this ship. You also know that there's generally, when a ship needs either to be refueled or needs help, there's both a forward and an aft docking port that you'd be able to hook up to be able to like enter on board in case they needed a doctor or something to that effect. So you know that either on the left side closest to the cockpit, or closer to the cockpit, and on the rear right closer to or pretty much at the large cargo bay that the ship contains.
Okay. Well, we have a officer's uniform. We have that we can probably put to use. And I'm kind of looking at Varric, because he's probably the perfect person for this. The size that he is, and that size of that outfit, and probably the most believable of the other two races to be wearing that type of outfit.
That's a very good point. So, as you begin to kind of make your way, you get a general comms through the ship. This is the Redeemer. We're a transport ship out of Corellia. State your business.
And then kind of like probably for Salin, before he even hits the button, make something up. Make it so that we can get on there. Not necessarily we need help, because why did we leave a planet to have help where we're at?
Perhaps we have another load of Bacta.
I'll be sort of like tapping my earpiece as you look at me, and I'll sort of take it out a bit, and I'm like, sorry about that.
They may not even know they have the Bacta.
I'm getting some kind of interference on comms. Are you hearing that?
Suddenly, the static in your ear kind of breaks. It looks like you still need a wingman. This is Blood 2 and Blood 3. Here we come. And all of a sudden, you see two X-Wings. Their S-foils are locking in attack position. Shoot past your ship.
Give them hell, boys.
Like you've never seen before. And I mean, they just come in and they both. One begins like Blood 2 goes under, Blood 3 goes on top, and you see them basically just firing, but they don't seem to be hitting it. They're not hitting the vessel. They're just firing just over top of it, and you hear you hear on the comms, whoa, 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 whoa.
I'm just gonna look at the others and go, we don't have much time. Do we go in?
There's our way in. Take
Full
it.
power to engines. Hold on to your tentacles, boys.
Yeah.
So you hear me laugh on that one.
As you punch it, you actually start seeing the ship kind of it starts to turn, and you hear over the comms, look, we didn't ask for this. We didn't. We were just told to pick up some Bacta that was headed
for a planet in distress. So listen. Do what you gotta do. I don't care. You want to take the Bacta? Take the Bacta. It's nothing to me.
Dump your cargo containers and you can leave.
Okay. And you hear, you don't hear. You see a large door kind of like slowly open in space, and they just space all the Bacta. Nobody has a medical check, do they? Or nobody has medicine, xenobiology? No. Okay. So as the Bacta just kind of like the Bacta just starts floating, like the barrels just start floating in space.
I'm just going to try and swoop in and grapple them or whatever the equivalent is to pick them up.
Okay.
Cover us, blood 2 and 3. We're going in.
So the X-wings are basically just like kind of in a crisscross pattern, kind of moving over top and underneath of the ship. Wait. This is blood 2. Are you sure you don't want this ship? I mean, after all, like, could be yours. I'm just saying.
I'll glance at Mercer. I'm like,
as they're kind of conversating, I pull out electro binoculars that I have, and I'll actually try to look at the barrels themselves to see if they are contained, because I know they're going to be tumbling and rolling, and I'm actually looking for any type of electrical device on them. Not necessarily like just because it's something that sounds like the perfect ambush. It's something I would probably have done. So,
so as the barrels are tumbling through, make me a perception check. Actually, okay. With a difficulty of 3, because they're tumbling through space. I mean,
will he get a boost dice because obviously we've got ship scanners, etc. as well?
I mean, you didn't say I'm gonna scan it. I mean, yeah, not to be a dink, but
That's all good, man.
And you said the difficulty is
3.
Okay, probably won't, but this is where Kojimal usually came in handy.
Wow, neutral.
Yep.
Okay, I mean, you observe the barrels. You see them tumbling through. You don't notice anything. You don't notice anything crazy. You don't notice anything good or bad.
Give me those binoculars, Mercer.
Yep, and I'll be happy to give it to him. And I'll go, you know what I'm looking for, right?
No, what are you looking for?
See if they were to see if they were a decoy or some sort, or if they were actually bombs.
Okay, bringing scanners online as well.
Sneaky. All right, same thing. Difficulty 3 this time. Add a boost die to your roll. Actually, no. I'll tell you what. It's now a difficulty of 2 and add a boost die, because at this point, come on.
That's 5 successes.
Hell yeah. So, man, as you look, you notice that the Bacta, or the barrels themselves, are not trapped. You don't see any blinking lights. You don't see anything out of the ordinary, except for one thing. You do see that many of the barrels, the seals on them have been broken, and the Bacta is now just, some of it is just leaking into space. And because you know that Bacta is also a bioorganic compound, you can put 2 and 2 together and realize that organic in the vacuum of space, it's useless. Like, it's just a useless liquid floating in space.
They're not trapped, but the seals on the barrels are gone. We're not getting anything out of that consignment. And I'll pass.
Tell your wingman we want the ship.
Blood 2 and 3. Are you receiving? We want the ship. Break and attack.
Let's do it.
And I'll jump to the gunnery station. I'm kind of like, I'm already seeing Varric move to his gunnery station, so yeah.
And so the ship comes in, and you hear, what are you doing? What are you doing? We gave you the
Stand down
Bacta.
and prepare to be boarded.
But fine. Damn it, Salin. And he shuts off his the communicator.
Did that voice sound like anyone I knew? Since they obviously knew my name.
Tell you what, make me a history check. Wait, is history?
No.
I am the worst Force Master DM GM ever.
Going history would be lore.
Lore. That's it. I just saw it as you said it. You know what? Make me a lore check on yourself. Difficulty of 2.
Yes, be interesting what year you were born.
They're obviously bluffing. In we go.
You think to yourself, that's a voice I haven't heard, and then that's it. So as the ship comes shooting in, that was just for you, Gabe. So as your ship comes shooting in, the rear door is still open. Both X-wings are just kind of like hovering in front of the cockpit. Their lasers are trained. You got a clear shot, Blood Leader. It's been an honor.
We're going to head for the hangar and go on board. Cover us.
Oh, don't worry, you're covered. Because basically, if they opened up, they'll kill everyone on board. But so basically, I'll
turn to Mercer and Varric and say, I'm going to need to stay with the Finders Keepers just in case we need to get out of there in a hurry. Can you two deal with this on your own?
Should be able to. By the way, tell your boys thank you for not following protocol and returning in.
This is Salin 2, Blood 2 and 3. I think you've just made Mercer's happy list. Congratulations, boys.
Who the hell is that? Wait, was that the big one? The Mandalorian?
That's the one. I'll explain later. Drinks are on me when we get back.
Yeah! And just yelling. At least the Asoge, the Nautilin yells. Kavmerick, of course, says nothing, as is Kavmerick because he's Derosian, and Derosians are funny that way. As you make your way inside the hangar, you see lots of different cargo containers that have been a lot of them have been strapped down. You land. The ship just kind of lowers down. The wings kind of lock back up into the typical kind of lock position. The landing gear hits. You feel the as you land in. The door, the outer door, closes, and you hear the outside scanners. Pressure normalized.
I'm putting the landing ramp down now, boys. Get ready.
And just locks in. And you see someone standing there. It is someone you do remember, Salin. It's a member of your old crew. But just for the hell of it, we're going to end the session there. And here's the big kicker. We're going to end the session on another tide change. Because I like you guys. So, who is this member of the crew? Who is this individual? And, yeah. So we're going to start with Salin, because after all, this is his baby. So Salin, who is this ex-member of your ex-crew?
Okay, I'm going to say that it is the sort of head technician who originally served on the ship that I was on.
Okay. And anything about this guy that you want to throw in there?
I'm going to say that he's a Mon Calamari, and there was like a bit of friction between his and my character for obvious reasons. But they sort of had a grudging respect for each other. But as far as I was concerned, he sort of died when the ship was taken or had been taken prisoner.
So kind of friendly rival kind of a deal.
Exactly, yeah.
You guys were frenemies. It was cute. All right. So the next person we go to, Varric. Varric, who is this person that Salin knows?
I'm going to say that it was a member of the crew. It was one that had aspirations to be captain, and he actually was instrumental. He was an inside man into the ship being captured.
Nice. Cool.
Of course, knowing the Empire, that may or may not have worked out for him.
Yeah, you know, they kind of have the Donald Trump-esque thing on non-humans. You know, it's kind of weird that way. Stupid Empire. And then finally, Mercer. Who is this individual?
Wow. Okay, so you get one for me. So many thoughts from in my head. Let's see here. I'm going to play with Faye a little bit, and I'm actually thinking this person was of importance that was talking on the comms. Kind of knew him, so it was definitely. She's definitely now a captain of some sort.
Oh, so sorry, it's a she.
Or it's a she. I'm sorry.
She,
I'm
okay.
just.
No,
I'm just,
you can say she. I mean, for all we know.
Just, yeah. Okay. It's a she.
Right.
And let's see here. Wow, this is so hard to come up with one. Some about his past. Let's see here. And she's not the normal type of captain. She's actually, I want to say, between an advocate and maybe an agitator of some sort. They were basically, she was the intel person on the ship, and they.
Sorry, so you mean intel person? You mean like an astrogator? Like the
not an astrogator, like intel. Okay. Like they got a lot of their jobs through this person.
Ah, okay.
And she basically kind of like a quartermaster, but more of an ambassador type deal, where she would contact people and they would give her their jobs and then they would do it. However, the last job, bad information was given, and that's why major reason why the team had to split off. Sorry, I had to think of it how to.
Oh no, that's good. Yeah, so it's basically like a job agent.
Yeah. So how I did this was I literally opened up Ogdudes and hit career right away, and then basically found diplomat and saw it. So people want to know my train of thought how I did that.
RNG for the win. All right, cool. So this is where we're going to end it there. For everyone who is watching or who will watch, thank you very much for joining us today in this session of Heart of the Empire. I had a great time, and I hope these guys had a great time. They did stellarly. My gosh, these people are amazing role players, and you know, if you want to get the chance to play with these guys, like I'm going to say for the third and last time, until next session, check out Tides of Change, Role Playing Game Club. Do it, or your Bantha Poodoo. All right, so let's take it right to my players. First, we have Dennis. Dennis on the far left. Dennis, if you could please give your outro and plug stuff. Plug lots of stuff.
I just want to thank our GM and my fellow players. Another great session as always. Of course, always bittersweet when we're missing a few of our players, so we keep them in mind. But it was fun. OSG, Tides of Change, check them out.
Heck yeah. Next up, Gabe, if you can.
All right, I want to thank everybody for watching tonight. I want to thank Mike for giving us a wonderful game. Loved the whole battle sequence, everything about it. It was so great. John, awesome pilot lead. Varric, great duel. And don't forget Devin, who plays our Kojimal from What the Dice. So please see these guys on YouTube. Subscribe. Watch them. Watch other videos they watch. You know, you can only learn more from it. So thank you.
Right on, right on. And of course, last but most certainly not least, everyone's favorite Quarren, at least my favorite Quarren, Salin. John, if you could please give your outro.
Yeah, just to echo the thanks from everyone else. Great game. Thoroughly enjoyed it. As Mike and everyone else has said, highly recommend you check out the Tides of Change Facebook group. There's a lot of games going on there, different GMs, different groups of players. If you're looking to expand your knowledge of the game and game with different people, which, as Gabe rightly said, can only improve how you play your own games, really go and check that out. You'll have a great time. You'll meet some interesting new people, and you'll get better at the games and maybe even run some yourself and make the group better as a whole. What more could you want?
Exactly, and I cannot agree more. So from all of us at Heart of the Empire to all of you, we wish you a good night. May the Force be with you, and get inspired. Peace.